Realtor training. So winning a listing from a discount broker or realtor. We've all been in the situation if you're, if you're at listing appointments and they're like, hey, listen, will you discount your rate? I met with somebody, they're willing to do 5%, they're willing to do 4%, they're willing, whatever they're doing. What do you say? What is your response to that? Are you discounting your rate, right? So I deal with this kind of frequently actually in the Western burbs. There's a lot of people who do discount their rate. And I'm getting this question a lot. So I have to make sure that I have something for that. I am not a discount broker. I am not a discount realtor. I will net you the most amount of money. I am very, Allie, will you grab my listing presentation? I forgot it over there in the other room. I know with what I do in the process, it is not the cheapest process for what I do, but I know I net people more money. So what does that conversation look like? I say to people all the time, discount broker, discount service, discount price. And I see it a lot. I mean, these ones, if they're on the market longer means that they're making less money in the end, almost always. So that person, that discount brokerage really isn't doing anyone any favors. I see it, I believe it. If you guys don't have that conviction yet, make sure you're watching properties, make sure you're seeing it. But I know that. I know these discount brokers are not giving the time and the energy like I am. And in the end, they're not making as much money. So I'm consistently saying that to people, I am not a discount broker. And I do believe, a discount realtor is a discount service, is a discount price in the end. I'm here to net you the most amount of money. So I'm going to give two examples that I've lived through recently. And that I took over. Or that, we had the conversations. There was one Shady View that was using a discount broker. Then they called me because they were on the market for like 30 days and they weren't happy. They ended up canceling their realtor and going with me. And here's the lesson on that. It was overpriced from the beginning. It was overpriced. It had no momentum. So that pricing conversation is super, super, super important, right? And it had no momentum, like that it had crappy photos, right? So what does that look like? So that's one where I took over the listing. Another one I'll give you an example of is Lake Medina. This is Wayzata Schools too. And this was maybe 8 months ago. When the market was really, really busy and I was competing with, I don't know, I think he interviewed like 5 realtors and he did end up picking me. But in my market, there are a lot of people that'll discount their rate or, whatever that is. And I had to stay firm on that and just tell him, like, here's my value proposition. I did end up winning it. And let's talk through what that looks like. Okay. So some of you guys might not know like what a discount broker is, right? So some brokerages just in general are kind of known for doing that. Some realtors are known for doing that too. In my market, I compete with some realtors who literally give back some of the commission on the buy side. So they'll discount on the list side and they'll give back. So in Minnesota market, 2.7%, we're not supposed to say that that's standard, but we see it as, the majority of transactions are paying out 2.7. If you guys don't know this yet, there's some realtors that will give some of that 2.7% back. Now, a lot of these times, these realtors, they're part-time realtors. They're not, they're not full-time. They're not, a lot of times we can't reach them if they're on the other side of the transaction, but there are things like that going on. I will always say to my clients when I meet with them, I am not a discount broker. I am here to net you the most amount of money. And guess what? Many times I will pay for myself. Many times I'm actually, let's talk about the numbers on this. So if it's a $500,000 home and somebody wants a 1% discount, that's $5,000, obviously, right? Let's say they want a 2% discount, $500,000 home, that's 10 grand. I have so much conviction in my listing plan and what I do. I am going to make you that money and then some. It doesn't help if you're on the market with somebody who doesn't give you the right strategy, the right pricing, the right momentum. You're going to cost yourself way more money. And I believe that. So this is something I feel like I have learned from my radio days. So my first job out of college was KDWB radio, and then I went to KS95. And the thing about in radio, you sold a rate. So like for a commercial, it'd be like $900, $800, $500, whatever it was, right? But it was all about rate integrity. And I've learned this from radio is that you start discounting your rate, people know about that. They expect discounts. So it's always been really important to me. Everyone has to decide what percentage, you are. In this market, we see a lot of 6, maybe sometimes 7. I say that, but I don't know if anyone, some people are probably doing 7, right? I see a lot of 6s. You have to decide, is that your rate? And you have to, for us, I maintain my rate. There is every once in a while, there is a situation, and I'm not going to talk about that, where I do discount my rate. Like if I'm working with the buy and sell, okay, and I'm upfront about that to my clients. But for the most part, this was interesting. I had somebody recently in the last year, they just closed recently, but they did go with me, but they told me, by the way, it ends up being a small circle. So you discount your rate once, people are going to know about it, especially if you're selling the same area. I sell a lot in the same area. So these people were like, so-and-so told me, someone told me that you discounted the rate. Are you willing to do that for us? I know that's BS because I don't discount my rate. The only way I discount my rate, if you heard that, I must have worked with them on the buy and sell. And then I discount a tiny, tiny bit, not a lot. So I know that's why you have to really, really be careful. And you have to decide, it's your business. You have to decide what you're going to do, but it can be a very slippery slope if you discount your rate and then people find out about it. I believe in having rate integrity. Commission. Let's talk about that. So if you're talking to and you're competing with a discount broker, I am also going to ask them what they're paying out for the buyer's agent. In Minnesota, we typically see it again. I'm not supposed to say that. That is like illegal. You cannot say 2.7%. That is typical. I'm not supposed to say that. But let's be real. In 99% of the transactions, we do over 250 transactions a year. That's what we're seeing. So 2.7%. There's a lot of discount brokers out there. And this is what I'm telling my seller. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if you're using a discount broker, a lot of times they're paying out less than that 2.7. Make sure you're paying attention to that. Even if it's 2.5 or 2%. I am not going to demotivate any realtors for coming in your home. I'm going to pay that standard 2.7% out. I would never demotivate somebody. I hope as realtors, we would still show a home that's paying, that is paying less, because I'm going to do the right thing for my client. But in my area, obviously there's a major lack of inventory, so whatever. But if somebody, we do a lot of relocation here. So if somebody's showing 5, 10 homes, on a weekend, and they're going back to get back with a relocation client, and they notice that commission, I don't know. What are some realtors doing? Are they showing that home? Are they demotivated by that? So I am just making sure I am having that conversation with my seller is, I pay out standard, we pay out good. We actually have that rule on our team, and as a brokerage, we do not demotivate realtors from showing your home. I think that's a big one. Okay. I also talk to people is I'm full service. I'm not part-time, I'm full service. This is my job. Everything in my listing presentation, everything that I'm doing in my presentation and how I market your home is thoughtful. I am trying to net you the most amount of money. I'm going to protect how many days you are on the market, because I know the longer that you're on the market, statistics say you're going to make less. So I'm going to do all the things to sell you right away and make you the most amount of money. And PSO, by the way, I have a great track record for that. Okay, so differences I'm going to point out. So these are the things that I'm pointing out. 2 things to my clients, my team and my marketing. So all my papers fell, so I have to go through this. That's okay, Allie. So I'm going to first talk about my team, because I have structured my team. It's different than a lot of other people. For you guys, figure out who your team is. Your team might just be a couple people, but structure it, figure it out. this is my team and I'm going to figure it out. And these are all, I will say to my seller, I'm the one that you are always going to see. I'm the one who's going to negotiate. I'm going to be doing all the things, but I have some people in place behind the scenes that are going to make this as seamless and as stress-free as possible. Okay. So I'm always telling people two things. I want to net you the most amount of money, and I want to keep this as hassle-free and as stress-free as possible. Okay. So I'm going to talk about my team with people and how that matters. So, I have a transaction coordinator. If you don't have one, I think everyone should have one. Okay. My transaction coordinator does all my paperwork. Everything is electronic. They're going to keep it super easy. She is an expert at all of that. And that will be facilitated quickly and all good things. I have a stager. So I'm talking about my team. I actually gift you up to 2 hours with my stager. Why? I actually believe in it so much. I'm going to pay for it because I know homes that look great right off the bat sell quicker and make more money. And I'm trying to make you the most amount of money. So I'm going to actually gift that to you. Discount brokers aren't doing that. Photography. My background's photography. I believe in amazing photos. I've taken over a couple. One of them that I talked about in the beginning was an $800,000 home that had used a discount broker, and then I took over. Their photos were not great. That is your first impression. People are not coming in your home if there's not great photos. So that matters. And we include aerials. So I'm always talking about that too. I have a designer that I work with. We're going to do brochures. We're going to do social media pieces. We're going to market, truly market your home. And then I talk about social media. So I make sure that people know that I have a thoughtful team behind the scenes, and we'll get it done. Number 2 is my marketing plan. So I'm not going to go over my listing presentation now, but I do in other trainings. And I will for my crew. We'll talk more about listing, but you need to make sure that you have a thoughtful, great listing plan. And what is your value proposition? How are you different than everyone else out there? Because guys, the majority of agents are doing the same damn thing. They're, putting people on the MLS, taking some photos, doing some open houses, and praying that they sell. I don't know what your thing could be, but you got to figure that out. Our thing is we market homes. We don't just list them. I market them. I market them on social media. I'm very effective at that. And it works very, very, very well for getting more buzz in our listings. So I'll do more trainings on that, but know your value proposition, know your marketing plan. We have a bunch of one sheets, all these things of what we're doing different. Our photography is going to look amazing. It's not going to look like this other stuff on the MLS. And yes, sometimes I show this because there's no excuse. I mean, these are so bad. So just make sure we do a lot of one sheets. Here's one I'm also talking about, and I'm doing a leave behind. Here are my reviews. Here are a lot of people who have had some success with working with me. And again, I'm all about making you the most amount of money and keeping this as stress-free as possible. So there you go, guys. Hopefully now, when you're at a listing presentation and somebody asks you, either they're a discount broker, is that still recording? Oh, annoying. Sorry that cut out. But hopefully the next time when you are at a listing presentation and somebody asks you to discount your rate, you know what you're going to say. Be expecting that. Get that question every once in a while. I'm not a discount brokerage. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you about my team, and let me tell you about the marketing I do, because I know I'm going to make you more money. My goal is to net you the most amount of money. Many times my process will pay for that discounted rate. Somebody is going to give you an extra 10 grand. No problem. I'm going to make you that. And then some. So there you go. Thanks for being on here. Hang out for the next one in a sec, guys.